We all know that raising children in any part of the world, wherever your location is hard work. But the challenge of now having to relocate from your country, especially this video is for many of us that are African parents, be it from Nigeria, from Ghana, any African country that you had to relocate, to a developed country. So maybe you relocated to the UK, to Canada, to the US, Australia. So this video is for you, is for us. And having to, move from your home country to a different place, especially the developed country, you have to know that the way they do their own things, the way they raise their children, the way they communicate with their children, even the community itself, anyway, the environment itself is totally different from where we are coming from. As Africans, we have this close-knit culture. We rely so much on families, on friends, on the society. It's like it's like a village type of living, because we all basically look out for each other. You can tell your sibling to come look after your children. There's just help, support. It's everywhere. Whereas this place is me and myself alone. Everybody, even the people with like their parents, is not necessarily like we have exceptions anyway, but it's like you take care of yourself. So from a very young age, they tend to teach independence. Like they want the children to be independent. Even for when you have children getting into maybe secondary schools, there's some decisions you might not be able to make for them. If they're told to sign some certain forms, you'll be told that they need the child's consent. Anyway, before we get into the video of today, I'm Timmy, and welcome back to our channel where we share everything on parenting strategies, parenting hacks, how we can enjoy, mommy life, parents life, have fun with our children, just enjoy life as a parent, because it can be hard. It can be hard, but we just give light and hope, on this channel. So back to my gist. Anyway, what I've observed is that as African parents, we just want to import what we've been doing from where we're coming from, and we want to remain the same here. It's impossible if you continue with the same mindset that you're bringing from Nigeria. I'm not saying our culture is great, which you would have to even ensure that you keep within your own, but your mindset would have to change. And that's what we'll be discussing as to, having to be in a new environment with our children. How can we get the best from our children? Because I've seen a number of people lose their kids. There's kids started to misbehave because they know they can get away with things, if you are thinking your children, they know what's up. They know what this place, supports. They know the rules. They know the laws. They talk about it in school. The teachers talk about it. And that's why we need to be prepared as parents that are, relocating, or we've relocated just a few years ago, to be well prepared and positioned to ensure that we're getting the best from our children and from us as well. So number one is, have you had a conversation? Because many of us will just bring these children and we would think that they should settle in. And you as parents, you know how difficult it is that to settle in you, but we never think of the children. We just believe, they must settle in. Are they not children? They must settle in. Have a conversation, because even many of us did not even tell the children that you are relocating. You just say, tomorrow we're traveling, we're going to the UK, we're going to Canada, and children are wondering from where to where. Even for that, some children are already, broken to say, why would they do this to me? They're not just children. So let's even let's even take it that you've done that. We're now in this new country. So when if you've not had the conversation, have a conversation with your children as to, we're in a new place, we're not in a new environment, and not of fear. Please don't come and be bringing fear. I'll send you back home, I'll do this one, I will do that one. If you want to send the child back home, say you will send them back home and send them back home. Not that you've been saying you send them back home for months and they're still there. So what you want to do is, have a conversation. We're in a new place, is new rules, new environment, new culture. You can ask them if they're older children, maybe from like age 5 or 6, if they've started school, if not, they've not started school, however that looks like for you. If they've started school, okay, how is it going? What do you feel about school? What do you feel about this new environment, this new place that we're in, and all that? You want to have that conversation with them and educate them that in this place, this is what is, what we're meant to do, what we're not meant to do. I'll be going into my notes because I do not want to miss out on any points, as well. So ask them, educate, have a conversation and educate them about this new environment that you are all in, and let them know that you are learning. So there's some things that you might do, because many times we parents, we're just proud. We just think because we are parents, these children, you can get away with things. The world has changed. The children of this day and age, they don't think like that. If you're thinking, oh, all I need to do is dish out rules, do this, your children will start to avoid you, and it's so easy to lose your children in this place, in the developed country, because they've give them enough independence. Like, you can make certain decisions on your own, right? So you want to be as involved, as possible. So let them know, and you as well, educate yourself. Okay, I'm in the UK, I'm in the US, I'm in Canada. What is required of me as parents? So the laws in some places will say you must not spank child, and you are spanking child because you were getting away with it from where you are coming from, because that's what you know. So you have to relearn. When I hear some people, some conversation, and how will I not spank the child? The child is not listening. If you spank social services, so many people are having issues with social services, and when they take these children away, they are taking them to a place that is worse. So yes, but the children, do they know? Do they know? And at the end of the day, what is now the essence of relocating? Many of us relocated for better life for our children, better life for ourselves, security, everything. So if you want to do it right, you're already in a new environment. Learn the strategies that would help you get the best from your new environment, new location. So learn the rules, what exists, what is acceptable here. Do you get what I'm saying? But many times we just want to continue to do what we think we've gotten away with, or what worked for us, because what worked for you back home might not work for you here. Some things might still continue to work, but some would not work. So to avoid stories that are there, we are seeing it every day. Social services coming for people's children. At the end of the day, they're supervising you, they're coming to your home, they're doing checks, they're asking your children questions at school. To avoid all that, learn and work with what the society here, thriving. Right? There must be a balance. You can just not insist and say, oh, your African mentality, this is how I've been doing it, this is what we do, this is what my forefather and my father, what they taught me. Learn to be flexible, in your mind, to say, okay, what am I meant to do? Then you start to walk backwards, from there. And the next one is be present. Many of us Africans, we can walk, especially, let me just speak for ourselves. We Nigerians, we work so hard, and because we just want to settle in on time, we need to pay bills, which I know paying bills is not beans in this place. But please, when you are chasing all this job here and there, when you are putting in all these hours, remember your responsibility as as a parent for your children. Know that at the end of the day, what would come out of it? Do you want at the end of the day your child is in prison, your child is not even necessarily homeless, maybe into drugs? So many things happen here. People lose their children, or pay your own part, then God can now bless the rest. It's not everything prayer that God will take control. We need to pay the bills. We know we need to pay the bills, but we need to strike a balance. The time that you are home, spend it with your children. Quality time. Ask, how are they coping in this new environment? How are they finding it? Because some children are not coping well, and they would not tell you if you are not available. If they say that, even at the end of the day, you'll be threatening them to send them back home at the end of the day, they will not even talk to you about the challenges that they are having. So please be available. Work, but not at the expense of your children. If you've worked all week, for example, work Monday to Friday, don't come and add weekend to it. Except maybe your children are already older or something. But for the young children, they need you they need you to be present, for them, so that they can. And children, they forget things so quickly. So if you are not there, they will not even be able to tell you what has happened, what they're struggling with, who said this to them, and it might just be too late at the end of the day. And you think, oh, my children, they are fine. They are not fine. Spend time, quality time, and ask them how they're settling in, what their friends are. Is anybody, are they sad? Ask them those type of questions. Not how was school. Ask them real questions. Hope nobody is making you sad in school. Hope nobody is talking down at you. Hope you're not facing any form of bully. I hope nobody is insulting you and all that. So please, let's do that. That is very key. And another one is, ask for feedback. Especially we parents that, because you're here, there's some things you'll be doing and your children sees what is happening outside. Yes, our home is our home. What we want to do is what we want to do, but ask for feedback. They can say, mommy, you are too rigid, or mommy, you are too strict, or mommy, you're always saying no. I want to go to my friends. I want to do play dates. Is that is their hey, that's what they are after in this place. But where you are coming from, play date, So rather than just saying no, you want to communicate the reasons. You want to let the children know why you're doing what you're doing. Not everything no. Your no has increased, because many times new environments, it's also changed me. When I relocated, some years ago as well, there's some things that I would just say, in Nigeria, that security, I cannot just allow my children to be taking bus here and there and all that. And they're older children, but that fear of Nigeria is insecure. I needed to tell myself that, okay, in this place, the children have to learn to be independent. They have to learn to take public transport on their own. They need to, I need to come to that realization and be flexible and open to learning, to say, okay, this is the new environment. How can we make it work? Rather than no, and you just be, you just be taking things that are not necessarily too serious. So ask for feedback. When you ask for feedback from your children, to say, how do you, what am I doing that does not make you happy? What do I Trust me, the children will be saying, they will say some things you already know. Maybe they say, you are not allowing us to be greeting our friends. Then you say, this is why I'm not allowing you to do this. But maybe by this age, you'll be able to do that. So let them know when they will be allowed to do certain things, as well. Because coming in for them as well is also, culture shock here and there, to say, so people can be going out like this. We can go out, we can jump on bus, we can just tap card, and whereas that is where you carry your children to take them to they will go to. Even they cannot open their mouth to say, Mom, I want to go and take public transport back home. So everyone is learning. So when they see the other children do that here as well, they'll be thinking, we too, we can do that. But if you're not asking for feedback, you would not know how to teach them or how to redirect them or how to counsel them. So that you must have like open line of communication, as a parent, here in a new place, whether be it new or it's not even new. Ask for feedback, and you will see that you would learn a lot from your children. You would understand where they're coming from. You would be able to learn how to meet them in the middle. You'll be able to know how each person can compromise and what you can improve on as well to get the base better from your relationship. And the next one is boost their confidence. This place, especially if you have children in secondary school, it is not for the faint-hearted. It's not like where you are coming from that everybody looks the same. Here, we do not look the same. And some children have not even traveled before out of their home country. And you bring them to a place as well that everybody does not look the same. So they might also think, you know, that maybe they're inferior to these people, but they're not. So you have to build your child's confidence. If you are interested, maybe if you would want me to do like a video on how we can boost our child's confidence, please leave it in the comment section and I will try and create, you know, make a video on that, on how we can boost, you know, children's confidence, because they need it. If not, they'll be thinking these people are better. They are not better. The people, even people like us that have been here for long, they intimidate their other peers, your black children, and you're still intimidating your own your own person, thinking you are more superior because you have accents. Does it make sense? But your children do not know this. These are things that you have to communicate to your children, that don't let anybody fool you with any, you know, any accent to think, oh, maybe they're better than you because they think that they're speaking better, better than you. No. Whether you speak like African or you speak like Nigerian, whatever accent you are that person. Be confident in yourself. If you want to learn, obviously you can learn to improve, to be able to adequately communicate in the way they would want to communicate with you. But while you are on that journey, let nobody pull you down, because it happens, especially with all the children in secondary school. They make fun of them for speaking African. They say they are speaking African. Like, what's that? What's that? Imagine a black African child, because you were born in this place, you are now intimidating another child, saying you are speaking African. Biko. And that's where you come in as a child, that, you know what? You are the best of yourself. You are the best version of yourself. Do not be proud of where you're coming from. We're proud of our country. You're proud to be a Nigerian. You're proud to be a Ghanaian. You're proud to, you know, whatever African country you are from. Tell your children you should be proud of yourself, because the way they see children here see Africa is like it's animals or something. Maybe it's the stories that they are telling them. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Your own responsibility is to go ahead and tell your children to be proud of their heritage, proud of where they're coming from, while on the journey of learning to, you know, want to speak like them, because maybe that's how you'll be able to communicate with them. But do not let anybody push you down just because you speak in a certain way. So boost your child's confidence. Then this one, sex education is very necessary, and not for older children. It's even too late. You don't want to know what is going on there. If your children are not telling you all this, you have work to do. You bring your children, they see people kissing, smooshing, doing all these things, public show of affection, and you are keeping quiet, and you've not spoken to your child, because where we're coming from, you cannot see such thing, no? And you are keeping quiet, thinking the child will learn it one day. This is the time you have to start to teach your children that in this place, this is what they do, but our own culture, our own family values. So start to teach them your own family values as well. Our own family values, this is what we, you know, we support, this is what we stand for, this is what we do, and start to teach them this is how we, you know, that is where education comes from. Sex education, letting them know I'm a girl, I'm a boy, I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. It's your responsibility. It's not the society that will teach your child. It's you. Thinking of where you're coming from, is your responsibility to start to educate your children, as to say, oh, this is, you know, this is what exists here, but this is what we stand for. So if you see people doing this, it doesn't necessarily make it right. It doesn't. So however your family value is your responsibility to communicate it with your children. So from a very early age, you see young children in primary school, they don't know, they're losing their identity. Some people are saying they're a boy, you're a girl, they're telling you you're a boy. They are a boy, they're telling them you're a girl. It's your responsibility to start very early on in I always say from age 2, maximum, start to educate your children around these topics in age appropriate ways. There are age appropriate ways of communicating this. If you're interested, we have an online course that can also help you teach your children, because I know some parents don't know how to go about it. If you are interested, we have an online course on sex education made easy for parents that can help you as to how to go about it for between ages 1 to 17 years old, on how you can direct them and teach them in age appropriate ways. So you can reach out to us, you can send us a message, you can leave a comment to say you're interested, or you can send a message to our Instagram handle at Mummyclinicc as well, that I'm interested in this, right? So that is very, very key, because a lot of children are engaging in so many things. The young children, please let's do the right thing. A lot of children are now engaging in all this gaming and all that. A lot is going on, pornography here and there. It's your responsibility to start to be very involved with your children as early as possible, because in this place that we're in now, there's a lot of exposure. It's not like where you're coming from, that everything is hidden. Shh, everything hide. Everything is secret. Even you are hugging daddy is secret. You are kissing daddy is secret. I'm not saying you should be kissing daddy in front of anybody, or I beg you. I'm just saying that there's high exposure in the developed country, and you don't want to pretend and say it's okay. And please, let's stop saying it is in Nigeria that you can do that. You cannot, you can do that in Nigeria, but you cannot do that here. You should be able to raise your children for world standard. Whatever exists, how you're raising your children now. If you go to Nigeria, if you go to Canada, anywhere, there must be that foundation to say, I'm raising world-class children. Because I've seen some children that, now maybe your 6-year-old is telling you, oh, I have a girlfriend, and you're saying, it's okay. In Nigeria, you cannot have girlfriend. And the child will tell you that, but mommy, in Nigeria, we cannot have girlfriend. In this place, we cannot have girlfriend. Why? Something, has changed, because it's the conversation. And if they're, having those conversations in school, and you are not having that conversation with them, I mean, what else? What else? And we don't want to lose our own values or culture just because you've relocated. We still need that. We still need our value system to be in place, but it just has to be communicated and taught in a way that the children would understand, and it will be balanced, at the end of the day. And finally, house rules, and especially around screen time. There's internet everywhere. It's not like Nigeria that internet is only for mommy and daddy or something, or for your homework or something. Even if you do not give access, when they go out to school, they can, their friends can share with them. When they go to shopping malls, it's there. So let there be a rule around it. Set rules that, oh, this is screen time. This is how you work with access to internet. If you need to put some measures, some restrictions in place, put it in your own best interest and in the best interest of your children. But before you start to hand them over those phones, those gadgets, have a conversation around it. Have boundaries set around it. This is, screen time, because that's a challenge with this place. Children are like literally on their phones. Even when you see them going to school, they're like this, walking. And it's the same thing with adults. So it's your responsibility to teach your children that, what, it might not exist where we are, but here we need, boundaries. We need to create boundaries for ourselves, and you need to be a good example as well. Practice what you preach. Not that you will set boundaries that you cannot keep to. Anyway, that will be all today. I hope you've gotten value one thing or the other. If you have, please share it in the comment section, and please feel free to share these videos with as many of your friends that they just relocated some years ago, maybe from like 3, 4, 2, 1 months ago as well. Or if they're thinking of relocating as well, this can also be useful. And finally, let me even put this here, spanking. I've said that initially, but please, there's so many alternative ways. I'm going to share a video very soon as well on alternative ways that you can use to discipline your children. Nobody says you should not discipline your children. Even Bible says we must discipline, you know, we must train these children. But, and I don't want to go into that, your spoil the child, spoil the rod, not today. But it's your responsibility to train these children and discipline them. But there's so many, like when you're in Rome, you behave like in the Romans, right? They've told us you are not meant to spank, right? It's your responsibility to say, okay, what do I do? And there's so many, you know, effective ways that you can use to discipline these children aside, you know, spanking them, especially when you know that, you know, the government or the new place you're in frowns against spanking. You do not want social services to come for you. Till then, don't forget to like, share, and yes, subscribe. If you are getting value, please subscribe. Yes, thank you, and see you in the next video.